Hello and welcome. My name is Aidan Blanco, and this is my presentation on emotional intelligence. I have chosen emotional intelligence for the sole reason of where I work. Currently, I work at Central Washington University in the dining department. I've seen many great leaders in where I work. At the school and in previous employments, I've seen many variations of management and the ways of leadership. Amongst them all, I found the most relative trait is emotional intelligence. It's something that can be developed. It's something that is very important to not just the leader, but to the team that works hard to get the results in. On today's agenda, we will be going over the introduction, the importance of emotional intelligence, as well as some research, ways to strengthen emotional intelligence based off the opportunities available, as well as the leadership ethics of emotional intelligence and how it affects today's day. First, I must ask you a question. Does brilliant work performance make a good leader, or does the ability to understand the team's concerns and voices and act accordingly? By asking this question, I have divided it into two parts. One that focuses more on the work and results and the performance of a team and leader. And on the other hand, we have the concern of the people's voices and how we address them may affect the morale of the team. Working in an environment where you feel safe is of most importance in any company. However, understanding that deadlines, results, and expectations need to be met is also of great importance. Having a balance between the two is what we aim to achieve. This question is not to have a right or wrong response, but instead to have one think about a leader that they've had, a leader they wish they had, and what brings them all together. Emotional intelligence can be defined from the Oxford Dictionary as the ability to understand your emotions and those of other people and to behave appropriately in different situations. Meanwhile, the course text for this class, called Theory and Practice by Peter G. Nordhaus, states, specifically, emotional intelligence can be defined as the ability to perceive and express emotions, to use emotions to facilitate thinking, to understand reason within emotions, and to effectively manage emotions within oneself and in relationships with others. That is also pulled from a quote from Meyer, Solovey, and Caruso within the text. And after diving into that, we will go into the importance of emotional intelligence. First, I will demonstrate it with Black & Mountain's leadership grid. From this grid, we can look that we have a 9 by 9 point grid that exhibits different areas that leadership can vary. The x-axis being the concern for production/results, while the y-axis is the concern for people. As you can see from the diagram on the left, we have 5 points on the graph that we must focus on. We have country club, team leader, middle of the road, impoverished, and authority compliance. The way this grid works is that if your leader or you yourself are the leader focuses on the production and result of the overall company goal rather than the concern of your team or the people involved in it, then you are very work motivated. You are very result oriented. You would be more so a authority compliance, focusing on the production rather than the voice of the people. However, if you are someone that focuses on having a healthy dynamic with your team, ensuring that everyone is okay, ensuring that everyone feels safe and sound and heard, but you put production and results second to them, then you'd be more of the country club situation, where it is at the lowest end for concern of production, but at the highest end for the people. Not to say that either is wrong, but to say that each scenario comes with a different case-to-case situation. In some areas, there are deadlines that need to be met. There are areas where being with your team is to make sure that everyone plays their part correctly. Rather than checking in constantly to ensure everyone's doing okay, we must ensure the product based off the case-to-case basis is being delivered on time and in good quality. Having a balance of these two characteristics of the concern for the production of results as well as the concern for the people leaves us to be in the middle of the road, which is actually the sweet spot of the leadership grid. The middle of the road is the balance that works effectively with an employee as well as the expectations to get the results. By working together to achieve the results while ensuring that you and your team are well in sync allows for greatest satisfaction. Looking at different areas where we have seen emotional intelligence actually do very well in practice, especially from Harvard Business Review, they have shown an increase of 31% effectiveness when leaders who understand and manage emotions lead more productive teams. This is obvious in the fact that when someone is a leader and has emotional intelligence, they are able to address situations in a way that ensures that the people are heard, things are accounted for, and a production runs smoothly, good results, and good quality. We also have emotional intelligence is not a fixed characteristic. It is not something you are born with. It is actually something that can be developed, honed, and learned, and then passed on with each passing day and moment. By constantly improving, emotional intelligence can only increase the work productivity rather than decrease it in any sort of way. From experiments from Slasky and Cartwright, they displayed a comparison between leaders who received emotional intelligence and those that did not. Results captured less stress, higher morale, and increase in civility, as well as improving significantly in performance of their said groups. In a meta-analysis of 58 studies of emotional intelligence training that included control groups showed a moderate positive effect for the training, and that was from Madeline and Craker. Development of emotional intelligence theory and structure. I looked at Goleman and Mayer-Solovey's models, where they looked at self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Those specifically focused on Goleman's model. Because emotional intelligence was mainly studied in the 1990s up until now, it is fairly new, yet not too new to the point where we don't know much. We have seen that it is effective. We have seen that many people are interested in the study of. So having this moment to look back at the consistencies of what other researchers have seen, such as constant patterns of motivation, empathy, and social skills, as Mayer-Solovey and Goleman's models overlap in, is very good to see these characteristics and how we can exhibit and hone them. Ways to help to strengthen our own emotional intelligence is not a way to be forced to teach you how to lead your team. Leading your team is up to you, but having the awareness and acknowledgement of emotional intelligence is of much importance. It is very good to have this in the back of your mind when making decisions and to look back on if the current way of leadership it is not working for you. Ways to improve are as followed. Check-ins with self-reflections and emotional triggers is a very good way to first start. Listening and observing team dynamics is a very important second. Understanding the perspectives from employees, especially when you feel you might be in the right as a leader, it is good to see where they are hearing you and what they are understanding. When conducting workshopping with team to better understand unvoiced concerns, you get to improve where you are lacking in the eyes of your team. Balance authority with fairness without bias and lay out ground rules. This is very important because though you may work very hard to get the results you want, you also need to be fair about the conditions that they are working in and the time you give to your team. By hearing these concerns, we can greatly improve the expectations and how to properly form a next plan. In today's age for leadership ethics with society and structure, we have seen culture of respect being of most importance with even religion, personal identity, focusing on getting people into the in group of a team, as well as employee rights, ensuring that everyone feels welcome, safe, and protected. While doing that, you must have trust and reliability. Transparency is huge. Active leadership to address issues before they even become a problem so that your team feels safe and can look to you for answers, as well as being approachable is very good. Changes in environment of today's age focus on the working from home environment, technology upgrading for AI interfaces, and multiple procedures where people are forced to go through many different computer softwares in order to combat this new and evolving AI systems. Understanding that human work is just as important for human value in the workplace is what we need to value. Having emotional intelligence to balance all of these three general and broad situations of cultural respect, trust and reliability, and changing environments will allow for a well-rounded team dynamic. From there, I will end it with a quote where people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you for listening to my presentation on emotional intelligence. If you have any questions at all, please let me know.